My name is Misty Her. I was born in Laos on March 5th, 1975. I was born in a remote mountains of an army camp. When I came here to this country, I was about almost 4.5 to 5 years old. So I basically grew up in this country. I have little recollections of Laos or what it was like, but I believe that when you are born in a different country than the U.S., you have a deeper appreciation and you have a different set of values. I was very, very lucky because I have a very supportive and caring family. My biggest role models have been my parents. I watched my dad be a clan leader in Laos to being a custodian in America. And when I was little, my parents would take me with them to work. My mom would work 2 jobs. She would be a custodian at night and be a housekeeper during the day. And seeing how hard my parents worked to keep the food on the table really changed my values. In essence, we lived in poverty, but we weren't poor in that we really loved each other. As long as we had each other, we were happy. My parents didn't speak a lot of English, and I was the first one to go to school. I do remember going to kindergarten, and I do remember my first couple of months of school not really understanding anything, and everything was pretty much a blur. When we went to school where we were at, we were one of the first Hmong families there. I had a white teacher who kind of put me in the corner for a little bit, and I don't really think she knew kind of what to do with me yet. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like a light just went off and I started understanding everything, and whatever she was asking me to do, I can do, and I just started learning. It all sort of came together. The expectations when I was growing up was to be a good housewife, that I was to grow up, have kids, make my husband happy. But I think what happened was, because I was the oldest in my family and I saw how much my parents struggled, I wanted to do something more with my life. I wanted to finish high school and to go to college. I started telling my parents my dreams. And I guess when you tell someone enough about the things you want to do, they start believing in you too. For being as traditional as my parents were, and for being the oldest in my family, my parents have been really supportive. My parents raised me not to be your typical subservient Hmong girl. I went to elementary school in Fresno, so I am a product of Fresno Unified. I went to middle school, high school, and then I went to Fresno State and got my bachelor's in liberal studies. And then I went back to Fresno State and got my master's in administration and supervision. So I've always gone to school here in the Valley. All my life, I've always had a love for children and for working with families. People would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and it was always to be a teacher. Working with the kids has always been, and I guess it always is going to be, my first love. I love working with newly arrived students, whether they are Hmong, Hispanic, whatever their nationality. New immigrants always have this yearning for learning. And there's this motivation, self-motivation that comes from within. I started off as a teacher, and in about my 3rd year, I became a master teacher, and I would help supervise and oversee other college students who were pursuing a degree in teaching. I never thought that I wanted to work on the administrative end in education or ever to be a principal. The turning point for me was when I had one of my student teachers get hired. I went to visit her at her classroom one day, and I was in awe. Her classroom had mirrored everything that I had been teaching her. I didn't know that what I was teaching was making such a big impact on someone. About that same time, my previous principal came to me and asked me if I wanted to go into administration. And of course I said to him, "Are you crazy? I see what you do all day and I would never do that to myself." So I just kept doing what I was doing. And what started to happen was I started to see that I could really make an impact on the 20 to 30 kids in my classroom. Imagine what I can do to an entire school. And that's when I started thinking that it wouldn't be too bad to be an administrator. And then it all kind of happened kind of fast. I started off as a vice principal, and then, by the time you knew it, I was principal already. Today I'm the principal at John Burroughs Elementary School in Fresno. I am the first Hmong woman principal, and I'm proud of that. Being Hmong, being a woman, and being known as a leader is something that I'm very honored to be known as within the community. The more I think about the role that I've attained, the more I start to see how empowering that is and how I could use that to positively influence other people. As I look back on my journey towards being the first Hmong woman principal in Fresno Unified, I am proud that I was able to overcome two significant obstacles. The first being within my community as a Hmong woman, being able to attend college on my own and gaining respect among my family and the elders to pursue my career as an educator and also to provide for my family at home. And I'm also proud as the first Hmong principal to represent the Hmong people to the greater community, to serve not only our Hmong students, but all students as well as by helping to bridge the gap between the traditional Hmong culture and the complex American school system. I strongly feel that being Hmong and knowing your Hmong background and your culture and where you come from is extremely important, especially for our young people today. But you have to remember who you are, where you come from, and to know that your heritage is what makes you the person that you are, and that's extremely important.
My name is Fong Yang. We got married young when I was 21 and she was only 18. And we've been switching on and off. So when she went to school, I worked. And when I went to school, she worked. So eventually, we ended up graduating both with a master's degree, but at different time. So that's one way I think she supports me as well as I support her. The other thing is we do have kids too, and and because I believe in what she does, I have to sacrifice my time, my career to really try to push what she's trying to do. So somebody has to be mom or dad. I worked at Fresno State for 6 years, from 2000 to 2006 as a counselor. And after that, I came back out, and that was the time when my wife really got involved in the principal position in Fresno Unified and so on. So we looked at the kids growing up real fast and needing the really parenting. Most people, I believe, that might have an idea what a principal does once they're at school, but as behind the scenes for their family, I think they don't see that. They do have to sacrifice family big time. The roles are reversed for us. I mean, she has the spotlight. Okay, Misty has the spotlight because she's the one that people know now in the community. And as a Hmong person, especially as a husband in the Hmong community, you have to be able to put your pride on the side. Say, hey, you know what? It's okay. I'm the man of the house, but a true man has to do whatever it takes for his family to grow. Okay, not a true man is not a person who say, I'm the man and whatever you do, I'm going to be better than you. No, a true man has to be able to say, hey, you know what? You got the opportunity now. You go for it. I'll do whatever it takes. You know what? The house, let me clean it. Let me do the laundry. Let me pick up the kids. Let me learn how to cook. How's that? Okay. Now, how many Hmong men out there cook for their wives when they come home? See, so I have to do that for my kids, and that's why I had to step back from my job at Fresno State because I have to be the one who sacrifice because I know that what she's doing right now is important not just for our family, but it's going to be very important for the Hmong community too.